an introduction to myself. I'm not a Muslim, despite the hijab that you see me wearing here. I was not raised a Muslim. I've never been a Muslim. I have no intention of becoming a Muslim. I'm actually a pagan convert. I've been a pagan for 5 years. I was raised as an Episcopalian in an American household, as you can tell from my accent. And I'm also a feminist, so keep that in mind. I realize that the fact that I'm wearing a hijab may be confusing to you. I'm not wearing it as a symbol just for this video. I've actually been wearing the hijab for about 3 months now, for a variety of reasons, which I'm not going to go into in this video. Maybe I'll make a video of it later, but it has nothing to do with this. But just so you know, it's not some sort of symbolism or anything like that, just for this video. Alright, I'm going to go into my first reaction, my initial reaction that I had when I watched your video. Condescending. That was my very first reaction. Condescending. Which is kind of ironic, because most people who claim to be atheists, anti-theists, and actually put thought into it aren't condescending. They do research. They talk to people. They learn. They try to understand. From your video, you have not tried to do any of these things. In fact, you have pretty much made the assumption that any women who wear... Sorry, my cat's scratching on things. Any women who wear the hijab are obviously ignorant. Now, this is shown specifically in your quote. I don't blame you. You've been brought up to believe this. Right. They've been brought up to believe this, so they can't think for themselves. Yeah, that's definitely very condescending. Here's my next quote from you that I had a rather strong disagreement with. If you really think Islam is about freedom, why don't you prove it? Actions speak louder than words, and words without actions are shallow. First off, your video is not about Islam. It is about the practice of covering, the practice of hijab, which is an aspect of Islam which not even all Muslim women practice. If you, as an anti-theist, which you state in your profile, are trying to attack Islam, do so directly. Don't skirt around the issue by attacking hijab. Also, this quote, again, shows your ignorance, shows your lack of research. Even if there are women who agree with you, even if there are women who really aren't afraid of being teased or beaten or anything like that, they're still not going to take off their hijab for 10 seconds and say whatever it is you've asked them to say. Because for their beliefs, they don't want to be seen by strange men. They don't want to be seen by a stranger because they consider their own body to be precious. Now, if you disagree with someone loving their body in this way, I'd be more concerned with your state of mind rather than their state of mind. My cat's sitting next to me. It's hard to not pet him. Okay, the next quote that I have some disagreement with. I will support you and I will respect you. This, of course, in the context of if they decide to do these things and they don't feel that there's any support, they can contact you and they can contact other people on YouTube who will support them. This is a very nice thing for you to do to a certain extent. But the addendum I would like to make to this is, I will support you and I will respect you, but only if you take off that scarf and agree with my interpretation of freedom. How hypocritical. I mean, you talk about freedom, but you don't respect their freedom to choose. You don't outright say it in your video, but you're basically making the assertion that Islam in entirety is an oppressive force because women choose to wear hijab. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't women who are forced to wear it. There are. But you're attacking all women who wear it by saying, well, you can't think for yourselves, which, again, is condescending. Now, my opinions, my straight opinions, having to do with your themes, not directly your quotes. In my opinion, they don't have to take off their hijab to show support for Aqsa. Them saying so is enough. Them discussing the situation with their communities, trying to see how they can prevent something like that from happening, that's enough. Wearing the hijab is a personal choice. It has nothing to do with you, it has nothing to do with Aqsa. It has to do with them and their feelings and their religion, their interpretation, their feeling of connection with their God. For all intents and purposes, to everyone but the person who's wearing it, the hijab is just a piece of fabric, and that's all it should be. You don't have any right to meddle in their practice, basically, especially if you claim to respect freedom. Before you start jumping to conclusions, I don't approve of what Aqsa's father did, obviously, but I do not think that Islam was to blame. I believe that anyone who is violent and has any grain of intelligence will be able to find something to use as an excuse. In this case, her father was a violent, probably abusive man who used Islam as an excuse to be violent and abusive. I don't think that Islam is inherently violent, is inherently misogynistic. I've read the Quran, I've read many different biographies of Muhammad. I've even read some of the hadith, and all of my interpretations of it are that it is trying to maintain peace, not give people an excuse to abuse others. With that in mind, you should consider that there are other religions and there are even other cultures that have nothing to do with religion that people use as an excuse to abuse others. I mean, when the Enlightenment came to America in the late 1800s, right before the Civil War, and in fact after it, people tried to use science instead of religion as an excuse to oppress blacks. So I don't think that it has anything to do with religion. It just has to do with people finding an excuse to be mean to others. Now that the rebuttal portion of my video is done, I have a challenge for you. Take down your Take Off Your Hijab video and make a new one. For this new one, you should research the legal reforms that the Islamic community is currently engaging in regards to women's rights. I would recommend that you start with women's rights reform in Pakistan, since that's relatively recent, last couple of years if I remember correctly, and continue on from there. In addition to that, you should read the Quran, not just the online skeptics annotated Quran, but actually get a copy of it, write in it, put your thoughts into it, try to understand it. And I don't mean convert, I mean try to understand. Try to see other people's perspectives. In addition to that, talk to Muslims. Go to your local Islamic center. Ask them how they feel about it. And once you've done these things, once you've gone out and done your research, actually you should also read at least one biography of Muhammad's life. I mean, how can you understand a certain religion if you can't understand the founder of it? But once you've done these things, make a video to replace Take Off Your Hijab. In this video, you should discuss ways for the Islamic community to change without attacking Islam or being overly critical of going, oh, it's a religion, it's bad, automatically. Of how the Islamic community can change to help prevent things like what happened to Aqsa from happening again. Instead of criticizing without learning, get involved. Try to understand. Because if you don't try to understand, you don't really care about freedom.